Today, we're spotlighting 50 amazing transgender celebrities you may not know about. From Hollywood stars to music icons, these inspiring individuals are breaking barriers and making history. Stick around to learn about their incredible journeys. You won't want to miss it. Laverne Cox is an Emmy-nominated actress and a prominent LGBTQ advocate, best known for her groundbreaking role as Sophia Bursett, a transgender inmate in Orange is the New Black. Born in Mobile, Alabama, Cox grew up facing bullying, isolation, and confusion about her gender identity. Despite the hardships, she pursued an acting career and eventually moved to New York City, where she found support in the city's ballroom scene, a significant cultural movement for many Black and Latinx LGBTQ individuals. In 2014, Cox became the first openly transgender person to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award, making history. Beyond her acting career, Cox is a passionate advocate for transgender rights, often speaking about the importance of intersectionality, the need for healthcare reform for transgender individuals, and the importance of trans visibility in the media. She also works on issues related to criminal justice reform, given her experiences portraying an incarcerated trans woman on screen. Elliot Page is a Canadian actor whose career skyrocketed after his starring role in the critically acclaimed film Juno, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award. Throughout his career, Page appeared in several notable films, including Inception and Hard Candy, and gained additional fame in the Netflix series The Umbrella Academy. In December 2020, Page publicly came out as transgender in a heartfelt message, sharing his journey of self-discovery and the struggles he faced growing up. Page has been vocal about the challenges of navigating Hollywood as someone who did not align with the gender they were assigned at birth, particularly the pressures of playing female roles. Since coming out, Page has used his platform to raise awareness about issues faced by the transgender community, including mental health, discrimination, and the right to access gender-affirming healthcare. Chaz Bono, the only child of music icons Sonny and Cher, came out as transgender in 2009 and has since been a vocal advocate for the LGBTQ community. His transition, including his experiences with gender dysphoria and the challenges he faced during his transition, was documented in the 2011 documentary Becoming Chaz. Before his transition, Bono came out as a lesbian in the 1990s, but later realized that this label did not fully capture his experience of gender identity. His memoir, Transition: Becoming Who I Was Always Meant to Be, chronicles his journey and struggles with finding his true self. Today, Chaz is not only an advocate for trans rights but also for broader LGBTQ issues, often using his public platform to raise awareness about the importance of trans visibility, acceptance, and understanding. Jazz Jennings is a trailblazing advocate for transgender youth and one of the youngest people to come out publicly as transgender. Diagnosed with gender dysphoria at a very young age, Jennings has been vocal about her experiences since she was a child, first gaining national attention when she was interviewed by Barbara Walters at the age of 6. Jazz and her family have been chronicling her journey on the reality TV show I Am Jazz, which highlights the challenges and triumphs of being a transgender teen. In addition to her advocacy through television, Jazz is also the author of a memoir, Being Jazz: My Life as a Transgender Teen, and co-authored the children's book I Am Jazz to educate younger audiences about transgender identity. Jazz's activism focuses on ensuring transgender youth have access to gender-affirming care and fostering acceptance in schools and communities. Caitlyn Jenner, an Olympic gold medalist and reality television star, publicly transitioned in 2015 after many years of struggling privately with her gender identity. Formerly known as Bruce Jenner, she had achieved fame through her athletic accomplishments and her participation in the Kardashian family's reality TV show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Jenner's coming out was highly publicized, including a landmark interview with Diane Sawyer and a cover story in Vanity Fair. Although her transition was celebrated by many, her political views, particularly her alignment with conservative policies, have led to tension within the LGBTQ community. Despite this, Jenner continues to advocate for transgender rights, often speaking about the challenges of coming out later in life and the need for greater acceptance and legal protection for trans individuals. Jamie Clayton is an actress and model best known for her role as Nomi Marks, a transgender hacker in the Netflix series Sense8. Born and raised in San Diego, Clayton knew from a young age that she was different but didn't have the vocabulary to express her feelings until she was older. After transitioning, she pursued her passion for acting and quickly became a pioneer for trans representation in Hollywood. Clayton has spoken out about the difficulties faced by transgender actors in finding roles that accurately reflect their identities, advocating for more inclusivity and opportunities within the industry. Beyond Sense8, she continues to break barriers with her performances and remains a vocal supporter of trans rights, particularly when it comes to visibility and fair casting practices. Andrea Pejic is a Bosnian-born model who broke new ground in the fashion industry by modeling both men's and women's clothing before coming out as a transgender woman in 2014. Her androgynous appearance garnered international attention, but it wasn't until she publicly transitioned that she began to fully embrace her true self. Pejic's story of transition was one of resilience, especially as she navigated the highly gendered world of fashion. She became the first transgender model to be profiled by Vogue, and her work has opened doors for other transgender models to find success in the industry. Andrea continues to be a vocal advocate for trans visibility in fashion, working to challenge the industry's traditional gender norms and promote greater diversity. Sophia Hutchins is a model, entrepreneur, and LGBTQ advocate known for her work with Caitlyn Jenner. A graduate of Pepperdine University, Hutchins has described her gender transition as a journey of self-discovery that was informed by her academic background and her desire to live authentically. Beyond her personal journey, Hutchins has focused on creating inclusive spaces for transgender individuals in the business world. She co-founded Lumisol, a company that specializes in sun care products, and has been working to create mentorship and leadership opportunities for transgender entrepreneurs. Hutchins is an advocate for transgender representation not just in media but also in corporate leadership. Angelica Ross is a multifaceted talent and actress, entrepreneur, and activist known for her roles in Pose and American Horror Story. Before gaining fame on screen, Ross founded Transtech Social Enterprises, a firm that trains and employs transgender people in the tech industry, offering a pathway for economic empowerment and financial independence. Her personal experiences with homelessness and unemployment have fueled her passion for creating job opportunities for marginalized communities. Angelica's work in Hollywood and beyond has established her as a leading voice for transgender rights, with a focus on the intersection of race, gender, and economic justice. Hari Nef is an actress, model, and writer who gained recognition after becoming the first openly transgender woman signed to IMG Models, a major modeling agency. Nef made her acting debut in the Amazon series Transparent, where she played a transgender character and has continued to advocate for transgender representation in media. She also uses her platform to raise awareness about issues facing the transgender community, including access to healthcare and the need for accurate, diverse portrayals of trans lives in entertainment. Nef's academic background, having studied theater and gender studies at Columbia University, informs much of her activism, which focuses on the intersections of identity, performance, and politics. Dominique Jackson is an accomplished model, actress, and author most notably recognized for her commanding role as Electra Abundance in the FX series Pose. Born in Trinidad and Tobago, Jackson experienced severe hardship, homelessness, and discrimination as a transgender woman before moving to the U.S. Her involvement in New York's ballroom scene became a source of empowerment and community for her. Through her career, Jackson has become a powerful advocate for transgender rights, with a focus on the experiences of trans women of color. Her memoir, The Transsexual from Tobago, delves into her life journey and struggles with identity, rejection, and survival, solidifying her role as an inspirational figure in the LGBTQ movement. Ian Harvey is a comedian and actor who rose to prominence through his candid and insightful stand-up routines about his experiences as a transgender man. Harvey's humor tackles the complexities of transitioning, masculinity, and societal expectations around gender. He began his career later in life, transitioning in his 30s, and became one of the first openly transgender comedians to gain national attention. He also had a recurring role in the groundbreaking series Transparent, further showcasing the nuances of his trans identity. Harvey continues to be a trailblazer in both comedy and acting, using his platform to challenge gender norms and advocate for transgender inclusion. Alex Blue Davis is an actor and musician known for his role as Dr. Casey Parker on Grey's Anatomy. Davis, who came out as transgender in his teens, has been a staunch advocate for greater representation of trans characters in mainstream television. His portrayal of a transgender doctor on Grey's Anatomy marked an important step forward for LGBTQ visibility on network TV, helping to bring authentic and complex transgender narratives to a wide audience. Beyond acting, Davis is also an accomplished musician and continues to use his voice to amplify trans stories and experiences, both on screen and off. MJ Rodriguez is an actress and singer who made history as the first openly transgender woman to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in a major acting category for her portrayal of Blanca Rodriguez Evangelista in Pose. Growing up, Rodriguez pursued a career in musical theater, and it was during her early 20s that she began her gender transition. Her role in Pose, a show that highlights the lives of LGBTQ people involved in the 1980s New York ballroom scene, has brought critical acclaim and increased awareness of the struggles and triumphs of transgender people of color. Rodriguez uses her platform to speak out about issues of representation and equality for transgender individuals in the entertainment industry. Leah T is a pioneering Brazilian model and one of the first transgender models to gain international fame. Known for her beauty and her activism, Leah T became the face of Redken, making her the first transgender model to front a major global campaign. Her presence in the fashion industry has challenged traditional beauty standards and helped pave the way for more inclusivity. Beyond her work as a model, Leah T is an outspoken advocate for transgender rights, using her platform to raise awareness about the challenges faced by transgender individuals, particularly in industries that are often rigid about gender norms. Kim Petras is a German-born pop singer and songwriter who first garnered attention as one of the youngest individuals to undergo gender confirmation surgery at the age of 16. Her musical career took off after moving to the US, where she began releasing catchy pop singles that soon gained a devoted following. Petras broke into the mainstream music scene with hits like I Don't Want It At All and has continued to make waves with her energetic performances and chart-topping singles. As an artist, Petras has become an empowering figure for LGBTQ youth, showing that it's possible to be both unapologetically yourself and successful in a competitive industry. Lana and Lily Wachowski, the sibling duo behind the Matrix trilogy, are both transgender women whose work has explored themes of identity, transformation, and liberation. Lana Wachowski came out publicly in 2012, followed by Lily in 2016. The sisters have spoken about their struggles with gender dysphoria and the challenges they faced before coming out, particularly in the male-dominated world of film directing. Their work, including films like Cloud, Atlas, and Sense8, has been noted for its forward-thinking narratives and representation of diverse gender and sexual identities. The Wachowskis have also become advocates for transgender equality, using their fame and influence to support LGBTQ causes and push for more inclusive storytelling in the entertainment industry. Hunter Schafer is an actress, model, and activist best known for her role as Jules in the HBO hit series Euphoria. Schafer, who began her gender transition in her teens, first gained recognition as a model before transitioning into acting. Her performance in Euphoria resonated with many viewers for its raw and authentic portrayal of a transgender teenager navigating identity, love, and trauma. Schafer is also an outspoken advocate for transgender rights, having previously worked with the ACLU and participated in legal battles challenging discriminatory legislation like North Carolina's infamous bathroom bill. As a role model for young trans people, Schafer continues to use her platform to speak out on issues of LGBTQ equality. Brian Michael Smith is an actor best known for his role as Paul Strickland in 911 Lone Star. Smith came out as transgender during the early years of his acting career but kept his identity private at first to avoid being typecast. Since then, he has become one of the first openly transgender men to be cast in a regular role on a network television series, helping to break barriers for trans men in Hollywood. Smith is a passionate advocate for transgender representation in media, emphasizing the importance of seeing trans men in a wide variety of roles beyond the stereotypes often perpetuated in entertainment. Gigi Gorgeous is a Canadian YouTuber, actress, and model who has documented her transition for millions of viewers, helping to bring transgender issues into mainstream digital media. Gigi transitioned in 2013 and has since become a vocal advocate for transgender rights, often using her large social media following to share her experiences and raise awareness about LGBTQ topics. In addition to her YouTube fame, Gigi released a memoir and starred in the documentary This Is Everything Gigi Gorgeous, which detailed her life journey and transition. Gigi has become an influential figure in the world of beauty and fashion, using her platform to champion trans visibility and acceptance. Teddy Geiger is an acclaimed singer-songwriter and producer who came out as transgender in 2017 after years of hiding her true identity from the public. Geiger initially found fame as a teenage pop star, but it was her behind-the-scenes work as a songwriter and producer that truly launched her career. She has worked with top artists like Shawn Mendes, producing hits such as Stitches and Treat You Better. Since transitioning, Geiger has embraced her authentic self, both personally and professionally, continuing to release her own music while collaborating with other artists. Her transition has opened conversations about gender identity in the music industry, where she advocates for trans visibility. Trace Lysette is an actress best known for her role as Shay on the groundbreaking TV series Transparent. She transitioned in her early 20s, facing many challenges in Hollywood, where transgender women, particularly trans women of color, often struggle with limited opportunities and discrimination. Lysette has been outspoken about the need for better representation of trans people in film and television, as well as the importance of combating harassment in the industry. Her activism, paired with her acting talent, has paved the way for more trans actors to secure significant roles. Lysette's work extends beyond entertainment, as she uses her platform to highlight the struggles and resilience of trans women. Miss Major Griffin Gracie is a legendary figure in the fight for LGBTQ rights, particularly for transgender women of color. A survivor of the Stonewall riots, she has dedicated her life to activism, working with organizations that support incarcerated trans people and those affected by the criminal justice system. Miss Major's work is rooted in her own experiences of marginalization and oppression, which have driven her to become a powerful voice for those who are often overlooked or silenced. She founded the Transgender Gender Variant Intersex Justice Project GIJP, which advocates for trans women of color in prison. Miss Major remains an iconic leader whose work has spanned decades, inspiring generations of activists. Buck Angel is a pioneering transgender man and LGBTQ advocate known for his groundbreaking work in adult entertainment and his outspoken advocacy on behalf of the transgender community. With his memorable slogan, "It's not what's between your legs, it's what's between your ears," Angel has become a symbol of body positivity and gender acceptance. He transitioned in his late 20s and became an advocate for mental health and wellness within the LGBTQ community, emphasizing the importance of self-acceptance and challenging societal norms surrounding gender. Angel's activism also extends to educational speaking engagements, where he discusses his experiences as a trans man and works to break down stereotypes. Cella Man is a multi-talented activist, artist, actor, and model who has used his platform to advocate for transgender, deaf, and disabled communities. As a young transgender man of color who is also deaf, Cella has spoken about the intersectionality of his identity, highlighting the importance of visibility for marginalized groups. He gained popularity on social media by documenting his transition and discussing issues related to body image and representation. Cella starred in Titans as Jericho, making him one of the few openly transgender, disabled actors in mainstream media. His advocacy work focuses on challenging ableism, promoting accessibility, and fostering conversations around inclusivity within the LGBTQ community. Gina Rosero is a Filipino-American model, transgender rights advocate, and founder of the advocacy organization Gender Proud. Rosero publicly came out as transgender during a powerful TED Talk in 2014, where she shared her story and emphasized the need for trans visibility and rights on a global scale. Since then, she has become a leading voice in the fight for transgender equality, working to promote gender identity recognition and legal protections for transgender individuals around the world. Rosero's activism goes hand in hand with her modeling career, where she continues to break barriers and challenge beauty standards in the fashion industry. Adian Dowling is a bodybuilder, fitness model, and activist who made history as the first transgender man to be featured on the cover of Men's Health in 2015. Dowling began his transition in his 20s and quickly became an advocate for transgender health and fitness. His visibility as a body-positive, openly trans man in the fitness world has inspired many to embrace their identities and take care of their physical and mental well-being. In addition to his bodybuilding career, Dowling runs a YouTube channel where he shares his personal experiences and offers support to other transgender individuals on their journeys. Jaya Selua is a Samoan soccer player who made history as the first openly transgender athlete to compete in a FIFA World Cup qualifier representing American Samoa. As part of the Afafafan community, a third gender recognized in Samoan culture, Selua's story has inspired many in the sports world to reconsider their understanding of gender inclusivity. Her groundbreaking presence in soccer has opened conversations about the inclusion of transgender athletes in professional sports, and she has become an advocate for trans athletes. Globally, Selua continues to use her platform to promote diversity and acceptance in sports, encouraging others to challenge traditional gender norms. Valentina Sampaio is a Brazilian model and actress who made history as the first openly transgender model to work with Victoria's Secret and Sports Illustrated. Her success in the fashion industry is a testament to the growing inclusivity of high fashion, though her journey has not been without challenges. Sampaio began her transition in her teens, and despite the hurdles, she has risen to prominence as one of the most visible transgender models in the world. Her work continues to break down barriers and open doors for other transgender models, and she has become an advocate for trans visibility in fashion, pushing for greater acceptance and diversity on the runway and in media. Carmen Carrera is a model, actress, and television personality who first gained national attention as a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race. After coming out as transgender during the show, Carrera transitioned publicly and became an advocate for transgender representation in the fashion industry. She has walked in numerous fashion shows and been featured in major publications, breaking barriers for trans women of color. Carrera has spoken out about the lack of trans representation in high fashion and the media, using her platform to challenge stereotypes and advocate for greater inclusion and diversity in the modeling world. Patricio Manuel is a professional boxer who made history in 2018 as the first openly transgender man to compete and win in a professional boxing match in the United States. Manuel began his boxing career as a female amateur fighter, competing in the Olympic trials, before transitioning in 2013. Despite facing numerous challenges, including being rejected by his gym and losing sponsorships, Manuel remained determined to pursue his passion. His victory in the ring as a trans man has inspired many, and he continues to advocate for transgender athletes, breaking down barriers in the sports world. Laith Ashley is a model, actor, singer, and LGBTQ advocate who gained fame as one of the first openly transgender male models to be featured in national campaigns, including those for major brands like Calvin Klein. Ashley began his transition in his early 20s, and his visibility in the fashion industry has been instrumental in pushing for more transgender representation. In addition to his modeling career, Ashley is an outspoken advocate for trans rights, focusing on issues of mental health, body positivity, and the challenges faced by transgender people of color in various industries. Balian Buschbaum is a former German pole vaulter who transitioned after retiring from athletics in 2008. As Yvonne Buschbaum, he was one of Germany's top female athletes, competing in the 2000 Sydney Olympics and holding national titles in pole vaulting. Buschbaum's decision to transition was driven by his lifelong struggle with gender dysphoria, and since his transition, he has become a public advocate for transgender athletes. Buschbaum now works as a motivational speaker, sharing his experiences of navigating both the sports world and his gender transition, while advocating for inclusion and understanding in athletics. Charlie Jane Anders is a highly acclaimed science fiction and fantasy author, as well as a prominent advocate for transgender rights. Anders came out as transgender in her 20s and has since used her platform to explore themes of identity, transformation, and gender fluidity in her speculative fiction. Her novels, including All the Birds in the Sky and The City in the Middle of the Night, have won prestigious awards like the Hugo and Nebula Awards. In addition to her fiction, Anders writes essays and speaks publicly about the importance of trans visibility in literature, using her voice to inspire and empower the LGBTQ community. Erica Irvin, known professionally as Amazon Eve, is an actress, model, and advocate for transgender rights. Standing at 6 feet 8 inches, she gained fame for her work on American Horror Story, Freak Show, and for being one of the world's tallest women. Irvin began her gender transition in her 30s, and her visibility as a transgender woman in the entertainment industry has been instrumental in challenging stereotypes about trans women. She has used her unique stature and public platform to advocate for trans representation in media and has been an outspoken supporter of LGBTQ causes. Jenna Talikova is a Canadian model and beauty queen who gained international attention in 2012 when she successfully fought for the right to compete in the Miss Universe Canada pageant as a transgender woman. Talikova's battle with the pageant's organizers, including Donald Trump, sparked global conversations about transgender rights and inclusion in beauty competitions. Her case was a significant milestone in the fight for equality for transgender women in pageantry. Talikova has since used her platform to advocate for LGBTQ rights and continues to inspire others with her resilience and advocacy work. Nats Getty is an artist, model, and LGBTQ activist from the prominent Getty family. In 2021, they publicly came out as transgender and non-binary, sharing their journey of self-discovery with the world. Despite being born into wealth and privilege, Getty has dedicated much of their life to advocating for marginalized communities, particularly transgender and non-binary individuals. They are involved in philanthropic work supporting LGBTQ causes and have used their visibility to raise awareness about mental health and trans rights. Getty also runs their own fashion brand, creating designs that reflect their commitment to inclusivity and self-expression. Sofia Lamar is a Cuban-born actress, singer, and nightlife icon who has been a fixture in New York City's LGBTQ scene for decades. Known for her androgynous style and boundary-pushing performances, Lamar has long resisted traditional labels, identifying as transgender but also embracing gender fluidity. As a pioneering figure in the underground art and club scenes, Lamar has used her platform to advocate for freedom of expression, gender nonconformity, and LGBTQ rights. Her influence extends beyond nightlife, as she continues to inspire a new generation of artists and activists who challenge societal norms. Shakina Nafak is an actress, writer, and director who is best known for her starring role on the Hulu sitcom Difficult People. Nafak made history as the first transgender woman to have a starring role in a network sitcom, paving the way for greater trans visibility in television. In addition to her work in entertainment, Nafak is a fierce advocate for transgender inclusivity in the arts, often speaking out about the challenges faced by trans performers. She is also the founder of the Musical Theater Factory, an organization dedicated to developing new musical works and creating space for marginalized voices in the theater community. TIQ Milan is a writer, public speaker, and LGBTQ advocate who transitioned in his 20s. He is a leading voice in discussions about the intersections of gender identity, race, and social justice. Milan has worked with various media organizations, including GLAAD, to promote transgender visibility and fair representation in the media. His work highlights the experiences of Black transgender men, and he has become a sought-after speaker on issues of intersectionality. Milan's personal journey of transition, combined with his advocacy for racial and gender equity, has made him a prominent figure in the fight for transgender rights. Beverly Glenn Copeland is a Canadian-American musician and composer known for his genre-defying work, which spans classical, jazz, folk, and electronic music. Glenn Copeland came out as transgender later in life after a long career in music, which began in the 1970s. His rediscovery in recent years, particularly his influential electronic album Keyboard Fantasies, has led to a resurgence in his career. Glenn Copeland has become a celebrated figure not only for his musical contributions but also for his advocacy for transgender rights and LGBTQ visibility, especially within the arts. Josie Tota is a rising star in Hollywood, known for her acting roles in Saved by the Bell, Champions, and Glee. Tota came out as transgender in 2018, and her decision to transition was met with widespread support. She has spoken publicly about the importance of authentic representation for transgender youth in Hollywood, and her career has helped pave the way for more young trans actors to thrive in mainstream entertainment. Tota continues to use her platform to advocate for transgender rights and greater diversity in the television industry. Elliot Fletcher is an actor best known for his roles in Shameless, The Fosters, and Good Trouble. Fletcher came out as transgender in his teens and has since become a prominent advocate for trans representation on screen. His work has helped to push for more nuanced and authentic portrayals of transgender characters in television, and he frequently uses his platform to advocate for transgender equality in media. Fletcher's visibility as a trans actor in major roles has had a positive impact on the representation of trans men in Hollywood. Peppermint is a trailblazing drag performer, singer, and actress who became the first openly transgender woman to compete on RuPaul's Drag Race, where she was a fan favorite. Since her appearance on the show, Peppermint has continued to perform and has become a vocal advocate for transgender rights. She is known for using her platform to push for more inclusion of trans performers in drag and mainstream entertainment, while also speaking out about the challenges that transgender individuals face within the LGBTQ community itself. Yuri Jones is an actress, model, and transgender rights activist who gained widespread recognition for her role in Calvin Klein's Pride campaign, making her one of the few transgender women of color to be featured in such a high-profile fashion campaign. Jones also served as a producer for the film Port Authority, which explores transgender identity in New York's ballroom scene. She uses her platform to advocate for greater inclusivity in fashion and entertainment, focusing on the importance of intersectionality within the transgender rights movement. Lucas Silveira is a musician, best known as the frontman of the band The Clicks, and was one of the first openly transgender men to sign with a major record label. Silveira's transition took place while he was still active in the music industry, and his openness about his journey has helped to normalize transgender identity in rock music. He has become a role model for trans musicians, advocating for trans visibility in entertainment and using his platform to challenge gender norms within the music industry. Jamie Wilson is a musician, model, and transgender advocate who gained popularity by documenting his transition journey on social media. Wilson's story resonated with many, as he used his platform to dispel common misconceptions about transgender people and promote body positivity. His visibility as a trans man in the entertainment industry has made him a sought-after public speaker and musician, where he continues to inspire others by sharing his experiences of overcoming personal and societal challenges. Scott Turner Schofield is an actor, writer, and producer known for being one of the first openly transgender men to play a major role on daytime television in The Bold and the Beautiful. In addition to his acting work, Schofield is a dedicated advocate for transgender rights, particularly in the realm of media representation. He has spoken extensively about the need for accurate, diverse portrayals of transgender people in film and television, and his work as a public speaker has contributed to the growing visibility of trans issues in entertainment. Catalina Enriquez made history in 2021 as the first openly transgender woman to win the title of Miss Nevada USA, earning a spot in the Miss USA pageant. Enriquez began her transition in her teens and has used her pageant success to advocate for transgender visibility and inclusion in beauty competitions. Her groundbreaking win brought attention to the importance of representation in spaces that have traditionally excluded transgender women. Enriquez continues to speak out about transgender rights, using her platform to inspire others in the trans community to pursue their dreams. Alec Butler is a Canadian playwright, filmmaker, and author who identifies as Two-Spirit, a term used by some indigenous North American people to describe their gender identity and sexual orientation. Butler's work focuses on the intersections of gender, sexuality, and indigenous identity, challenging traditional narratives around gender roles and fluidity. As a two-spirit advocate, Butler has been a strong voice in promoting understanding and inclusion of indigenous LGBTQ people. His creative work, which spans multiple genres, serves as a platform for exploring and advocating for LGBTQ rights in indigenous communities.